Terminus has been an absolute gem and has solidified BO6 as a good zombies game, but what if I were to tell you that Terminus is very similar to another Black Ops 3 custom zombies map? That is Leviathan. The map is widely known, but if you've never heard of it, the map is set in an underwater laboratory or research facility, and the map contains a very compelling Easter egg and 2 boss fights, very similar to Terminus. So today I will compare these 2 gems to see which map is better. We will determine which map is better through these 7 categories, those being atmosphere, mini bosses, Easter eggs, wonder weapon, high value potential, the boss fight, and the map layout / design. Terminus is set in a rainy prison research facility in the open sea. The map has a central large island and numerous surrounding islands. Terminus offers a more grounded and gritty atmosphere shrouded in darkness and rain. The dilapidated prison complex provides a stark and foreboding setting. The map's industrial design and decaying architecture creates a sense of desolation and despair. Terminus's atmosphere is perfect for being a horror-themed map. The only thing Terminus lacks is creativity. The simple, dark, broody prison with rain could be more creative. Leviathan's underwater setting immediately sets it apart. The eerie silence, punctuated by the occasional gurgling sound of distant echoes, creates a sense of isolation and dread. Bioluminescent creatures illuminating the darkness add to the map's otherworldly atmosphere. The feeling of being trapped beneath the waves surrounded by the unknown is palpable. On top of this, the map's attention to detail is wild. The sharks swimming across the map can be killed and drop power-ups. The underwater mines can be blown up if shot. Certain map areas can be breached. Sections can be flooded and the layout can change. This dynamic environment keeps players on their toes and adds a sense of unpredictability. The map is scary when it needs to be and emits creativity when it needs to. The winner of the atmospheric category goes to Leviathan. The map's creativity and attention to detail brings it ahead of Terminus. The next category is mini-bosses. On Terminus, the Amalgam is a grotesque creature known for its high health pool and speed. The Amalgam has 2 primary attacks, a grab attack which sends out an arm to grab you, then bite you, and its regular attack which simply hits you. The diver is a deep-sea diver who uses his trusty harpoon gun to shoot you. The harpoon moves very fast and isn't easy to dodge. If it hits, it inflicts small or minor damage, and also prevents you from moving for a small period of time until you hit your melee button. He also has a shield that can block bullets. Both mini-bosses are amazing, but the Amalgam just barely pulls ahead and wins the category. Disclaimer, I'm not counting the fucking manglers because they spawn pretty much as abundantly as the zombies past round 30. Anyways, next up we're comparing the Easter eggs. Leviathan's Easter egg is renowned for its complexity and length. It requires players to solve numerous puzzles, complete intricate challenges, and navigate various parts of the map. Leviathan's Easter egg is incredibly creative, utilizing the underwater setting uniquely. The puzzles and challenges are often mind-bending and require a high level of problem-solving skills. The Easter egg is long, but with numerous engaging parts. Some of the noteworthy steps on this map are Samantha Says from Moon. There's also an extremely difficult escort step in which you must escort the doctor on this map. This is probably the most difficult Easter egg step. But my personal favorite step on this map is when you use one of the underwater mines to blow up one of the submarines floating across the map. It is a sick step. While Terminus' Easter egg is also complex, it's generally considered less complicated than Leviathan's. It involves several steps, but is typically more straightforward and less time-consuming. While Terminus' Easter egg is creative in its own right, it leans more towards traditional zombies Easter egg mechanic. Terminus' hardest step is probably the bomb defusal step, and even that step is insanely easy with smokes and decoys. In my opinion, Terminus is a fun yet simple Easter egg, but definitely has points deducted for the fact that it is an extremely easy Easter egg in my opinion. The map does not provide much for puzzles or actual intricate steps for the Easter egg itself. Leviathan Easter egg pulls ahead and wins this category. It demands more problem-solving skills. The Easter egg is a gem and perhaps one of the best Easter eggs ever created in zombies. The next category is wonder weapons. Moving on to wonder weapons, Terminus has the Beam Smasher, a mighty wonder weapon that shoots a concentrated beam at a single target at a time. The Beam Smasher also has a secondary fire that stuns the zombies and increases the damage that the main beam does. The Beam Smasher does good damage against zombies and amalgams, but quickly falls off by around 30. Leviathan's wonder weapon is the pressurized harpoon gun, which shoots a single harpoon at a time that clears a lot of zombies out at once. It's very similar to the Thunder Gun, except with a lot more ammo. The gun has an upgrade quest that increases the gun's ammo reserves and adds a secondary use for the weapon. Now, if you shoot 2 adjacent walls, an electric rope will spawn between them, instantly killing all zombies that pass through. It only lasts 20 seconds, but can be very useful. Both maps have non-specific map wonder weapons, like the Ray Gun Mark II, the Wave Gun, and the Ray Gun, but those don't really count. The pressurized Ray Gun wins, as it does an excellent job at matching the map's theme, while also being very good. It's an infinite damage wonder weapon with a large reserve of ammo and a lot of versatility. Now for the boss fights. Terminus and Leviathan both have 2 boss fights.
Come to finish the doctor's work, have you? Too bad this will be your final resting place.
This is Leviathan's first boss fight, and let me just say, this shit had me convinced I was about to be participating in an Elden Ring boss fight. Intro cutscene is absolutely amazing. The Leviathan boss fight is another reused asset, being the dive, but at least this boss fight has a sick custom arena and an impressive cutscene. The boss also gains a wipe ability, which can be very dangerous if you're not ready. The diver also gains the ability to shoot grenades out of his body. The boss fight has a lot of health and has 3 different phases. Once completed, you are given the 1-inch punch. The first boss fight for Terminus is the Nathan boss fight. The boss fight is quite literally just an amalgam with a few extra hit points. The arena is just the underground lab on Terminus, and the boss fight is often very fast. I pack punch 2 ASG shredded Nathan in about a minute. The second boss fight on Terminus is the Patient 13 boss fight, rated as the best boss fight in zombies by Mr. Waffle Waffles. This is an absolute masterpiece. Patient 13 has 3 unique phases and a multitude of attacks. I will not go too in-depth about this boss fight, as I'm sure most of you have already heard so much about this boss fight. The Kraken boss fight on Leviathan is very similar. He also has a set move or attacks, such as his ability to attack you or slam you with his tentacles, which can nearly one-shot you, or the laser from its forehead, which is very hard to dodge. The boss fight is very similar to the Terminus boss fight in so many ways. And just like the first boss fight on Leviathan, this intro cutscene for this boss fight is an absolute fucking masterpiece.
You thought you could escape. You were wrong. Release the Leviathan.
But what I believe to be the biggest difference between the 2 boss fights is the difficulty of both of them. The Terminus boss fight is by no means easy, but it definitely can't compare to the difficulty of this boss fight. There are 3 phases to this boss fight as well, but alongside with that, during the second phase, the diver boss from earlier spawns in and helps the Leviathan. Alongside that, there are so many one-shot attacks on this boss fight. And lastly, the play area for this boss fight is extremely small, with zombie mechanics obviously in BO3. But in my opinion, the Patient 13 boss fight is better crafted and better made. But the diver boss fight pulls ahead of the Nathan boss fight, leaving this category in a tie. Next, we're comparing both maps' high rounding strategies or potential. Both maps have high rounding strategies for the most part. Terminus' primary high rounding strategy is simply spamming the Mangler injections, which is in my opinion very dull and bland. It doesn't require much actual skill, just patience. To be fair though, the Mangler high rounding strategy is used across the entirety of Black Ops 6, on both the new map Citadel de Mort and Liberty Falls. This strategy is often paired with the GS-45s. For Leviathan, they have a plethora of high-rounding strategies, from training zombies to using the pressurized harpoon gun, the traps across the map, and even the map's unique specialist weapon. But the biggest thing for me is that Leviathan's high-rounding strategies are tons of fun, and they often require skill, which is another massive thing for me. But high-rounding strategies go to Leviathan, as the map is fun yet difficult for high-rounding strategies. Last but not least is map layout. Both maps have very different map layouts. Terminus in Black Ops 6 is designed as a large interconnected urban area with a mix of indoor and outdoor zones. The perk machines are spread evenly across the map, encouraging exploration while maintaining accessibility. Key perks like Juggernog and Speed Cola are placed in high traffic areas, while others like PhD are tucked into more challenging out-of-the-way locations. The Back Punch machine is located in an underground laboratory on a moving platform that can take you from the laboratory back to the prison area, requiring players to activate 3 power switches scattered across the map. Overall, the layout balances tight corridors with open areas for training. Moving on to Leviathan, which is on the opposite end of the spectrum, as it is an underwater research lab with tons of tight corridors and passageways. The map allows you to go outside into the water as well. There are few places for easy training. The perk machines are scattered across the map with some consideration. Perks such as Jug are very close to spawn, but they are still in dangerous areas. Other perks such as Deadshot are further from spawn, but still in very open areas. Leviathan's Pack-a-Punch location may be the most creative place in Call of Duty history, as the machine is located on an underwater submarine that swims across the map and randomly appears in certain locations. The power switch for this map is about 3 doors away from spawn. Both maps have very different layouts, but the winner for this category is Leviathan, with a layout more reminiscent of older COD Zombies titles such as Black Ops or Black Ops 2, coupled with the creativity of the Pack-a-Punch location. Now, usually I would tally up all of the categories to see which map won, but it's too obvious as Terminus only won 1 point in this entire thing. Which makes sense, as Leviathan is a masterpiece, a zombies masterpiece. This map was so good in fact that it was made on BO2, but was later remastered on BO3, which just shows how much work was put into this map. Alongside this, Leviathan is an S tier map, and yes, I would definitely say Terminus is an A tier map. It simply can't compete with the creativity and the depth that Leviathan brings. But if you've enjoyed, please consider leaving a like, subscribing, because I make content like this all the time. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next time.